Hey Wibblings, it's Morgana. I hope my camera will stay now. Okay. I'm going to do the witchy community tag that the Lady Grave Dancer came up with, Tequila. She was so awesome enough to ask us to come up with questions, and then she sat there, she took the time, and she came up and put all the questions together in a tag for us, which it's awesome. I mean, because I know that had to have taken some time, so that was totally awesome of her to do. So, but there's 77 questions in it, so this might take a while. I can't promise I'm not going to ramble, because if you've seen any of my videos before, you know I can do that sometimes. I will try to keep myself on track. I printed the questions out on paper. So, yeah, there's 4 sheets of paper. It's a lot. It's a lot. I will try to remember to put the questions. I don't think I can get them all in the description. I think it'll cut them all off, because the last time I tried to do that, I think it cut them off. So if I can remember to, I will try to remember to put them down, like in comments. If I have to break them up, I'll break them up. But this is a totally cool tag, and Tequila tagged everybody to do it. So if you're watching this and you haven't already, you were tagged and you didn't know it. So ha, there. Okay, so let's get started with question number 1. Question 1, page 1. There's 4 pages. Okay. Because I put the bases in between, but whatever. You don't care about that. Question number 1. Do you use runes as a written language? No, I do not. Do you feel you have natural gifts such as premonitions, hearing spirits? And if so, do you think this is what led you to the path? I do. I think the closest I can equate it to is I have dreams of stuff that's going to happen, but it's not a gift I nurture, because frankly it scares the hell out of me. Some of the stuff I've seen scares the hell out of me, so it's not something I try to, work with just because it scares me. It's something I've had since I was little. Is it what led me to this path? No, it is not. It is not, believe it or not. Had nothing to do with it. Number 3, what deity do you work with, if any, and why? Well, the only deity I work with on a consistent basis is because she's my matron goddess, and that's the Morrigan. I do work with Bast where my cats are concerned. I don't have a patron god, so I still work with the male aspect still in the abstract. Have you always worked with this deity? Since she's come to claim my happy ass since I've been ready, apparently, yes. Do you use any personal items in your practice, such as blood, semen, tears, urine, etc.? The only one of those I've ever used in practice was blood, and I don't do that very often. You have to tread lightly when you use that kind of stuff with the Morrigan. So, I do. It's been very rare occasions that I've done it. And it's for very, very specific reasons when it needed, I feel it needed, that was necessary. Do you do past life readings, or ever had one done? Who were you, or how did you die? That's going to be no, no, and no. I don't do them. I've never had one done. What is your favorite magical tool? I'm going to say my wand. What is a song or type of music that gets you into a witchy mood? Usually if I'm gonna do something like a spell or a ritual, I'm usually gonna put on some Celtic music to get me in that mind space to help clean. Let's see. Where is the most magical place you've ever been? You're taking into account, I haven't really traveled that much. I really haven't. Besides any beach I've ever been to, because the beach is always magical to me, always. I went to the Appalachian Mountains. I was 17, and there was this one place, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was called, but it was just so awesome there. And danged if I cannot remember the name of the place, and it bugs me, but that's where. What animal is your familiar, if any? I would have to say it would have to be my cat. Or cats is the closest I can get to familiar. I don't know if you'd call them a true familiar or not, because they're not. I've got one cat that will consistently walk across my altar all the time. If he can swing it, he's walking across it. He doesn't ever lay up there. He doesn't ever do anything like it. He just likes to walk across it. And that's the only place in my room he'll walk. He'll climb on top of furniture and walk. It's the only place. I have the other two cats. If I'm sitting on the floor, they will come, they'll lay next to me, they'll sit in my lap, they'll want attention at that point in time, and then I can feel something. But as to something that consistently, every time I do magic, is in, there with me, blending energy, whatever, no, I don't have that. Let's see. If you have a familiar, did you choose them or did they choose you? Okay, so back to if you're going to get with my cats. The cats that I have now, the black and white one, which I don't think's ever shown up in a video because he doesn't do that. And then the gray one, which hasn't come through in a while, but I know he's been in lots of videos in the beginning. Those two are litter mates, and I used to feed their mother when she was a stray. And when she disappeared with half of her next litter, which was only two, so she left one, and then one was with her, and then she just disappeared. She just didn't show up one day. She was gone. But those two are litter mates, so I've known them since pretty much right after they were born. And then the orange and white cat, Ozzy, just kind of adopted us. She was hanging around my sister's house. We had gone over to my sister's house. I just wouldn't have told the story before, but maybe not. And she kind of we were petting her, and then we were getting in the car to leave. And I was not looking for another cat at that point in time. I wasn't looking for another cat. I didn't want another cat. She just kind of jumped in the car. And she got right back in the back seat. She laid down, and she stayed there the entire car ride home. She even got up in my lap at one point, laid in my lap all the way home. So I was like, okay, yeah, you're going to stay. So that's how that one works. What's next? What in the craft are you best at? Tarot, spells, ritual, etc. I have to say candle spells. I really like doing those, so I work with those the most on tips. What in the craft would you say you're the weakest at? Rituals. I'm so bad at rituals. I always forget something. Always. Never fails. I forget the book I need. I'll forget a candle that I need. I'll forget the incense. I will forget something every time, guaranteed. I think that's what really big part of the reason why I don't mess with ritual a lot. Not a whole lot. Okay, so what is your favorite part of the craft? Spell writing, divination, etc. My favorite part of the craft, if we're talking spell writing, divination. Oh, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very strong in the spell writing area. My writing skills are not up to par, shall we say. I'd have to fall back on my divination. Yeah, let's go with that. What is the first purchase tool you ever got? Oh my gosh. Oh, first purchase tool. I honestly don't know. The first purchase tool I ever got. I don't know. Oh, you know what? This is the first thing I can ever remember getting. I got this when I was like 15. It had, when I bought it, I got it when I was visiting, when my mom's parents used to live down in Fort Lauderdale still. That's where my mom grew up after they came over. It had a smoky quartz point hanging off of it, and that broke off, and I just kind of like filed the rest of the way down, and then I've just had this ever since, and I've worn it since. So yeah, that's the first thing I can remember. And my grandmother bought it for me. I didn't buy it. She bought it for me. So I don't know if she was hedging on the fact that I didn't know what it meant, or what. I never really asked her. So I've just never really got into it with her, so I don't know. But that's the first thing. I think that counts. Does that count? We'll say it counts. What was your first homemade tool for your practice? First homemade tool. I made... Oh, I don't know if I can get to them. I made my first pentacle disc for my altar. And I also made some ruins. The pentacle disc is way across the room in a box because I don't hardly ever use it anymore. But I do have the ruins still. So I made them out of clay. I made it out of clay. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. That's disrespectful. So, yeah. See? Like that. Just simple, you know, first time me messing with, you know, modeling clay or whatever. And they're in a bag still. But I don't use them. I kind of made them because I could. I never really used runes. So I don't know what possessed me to make them, but I did. What are your feelings on raising kids in the craft? I have no objections to it. I mean, if that's what your kids want to do, then sure. I mean, none of my kids do. None of my kids have come up to me and said, hey, Mom, teach me about this. They know that I will if they want to, but no, and you know, that's fine. I'm okay with that, because to me, your spirituality, your religion is very personal. personal. Ugh, couldn't get the word out. Personal. And what works for me isn't going to work for everybody else. And what, so I would, of course, extend that same thing to my kids. Works for me might not work for them. It's fine. That just sends them on their own path to, find what they want, If you were a god or goddess, who would you be? Oh, yikes. If I was a god or goddess, who would I be? Oh, man. Oh, the choices. Okay, this is going to sound weird. I've always had a fascination for Persephone. So I guess I'd have to go with that one. Ever since I can remember, I've always had a fascination with her story. So I'd have to go with her. Do you use astrology in your practice, and in what ways? Not a lot. I don't consult a star chart for every little stinking thing I do. I will, plan my spell work accordingly to, the cycles and stuff like that, but I don't bust out a star chart and, this and this sign and this, I don't do that. Ain't nobody got time for that. No, I don't have, I don't. Other people, it works for them. They like to do that. More power to them. I'm glad somebody can do it. It's just not me. Okay. What, if any, ways could you practice dark magic and still respect the beliefs of Wicca? Okay, so I'm not Wiccan, one. But dark magic. See, what you think might be dark magic, it's not exactly dark magic to me. It would be me protecting myself, or my children, or my family, or my home, or it just... Basically, if you're going to throw something at me, I'm going to throw it back. That's all there is to it. So if you see that as dark, okay. That's your opinion. Let's see. 21. We're question 21. Do you have any witches in your family? Not that I've ever really looked into it, and I don't know why. I don't know why I've never really looked into it. I do have a cousin that's Wiccan. He dabbles in shamanism as well. But that's about it that I'm aware of. Okay. Number 22. What item could you not witch without? So I guess that would be like anything I would not, if I didn't have it, I would not feel like a witch, right? Let me think about that for a second. My candles. I really like my candles. Have I told you I like my candles? Because I like my candles. There's so many different components. You know what? Actually, no, I take that back. My salt. My salt. We're going to go with that. Okay. Number 23. What is your favorite Sabbath or time of year ritual? I'm going to go with the very witchy answer of Samhain. It is. That is my favorite time of year. I love, 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 love fall. Love it. Especially love Samhain. Because in my house we start decorating in early September, late August. I kid you not. I start decking out. The inside of the house starts getting decked out. Could be possibly as early as Labor Day. Just saying. That's what I go for. Okay. Have you ever had a YouTube burnout? I don't think I've been doing this long enough to really have a full-on burnout. I mean, there have been times where, granted, I've it's come time for me to do a weekly video, and I go, I don't want to. So I don't. So then I'll skip like a week. I think the longest I've gone is where I've only skipped 1 week, maybe 2. But I've only been doing this like 6-7 months. So I don't think I've been doing it long enough to have a burnout. 25. What is your favorite witchy shop, and do they have an online store? I don't have a favorite. I had a favorite. They're closed. They closed down. They did not have an online store, and I think that had a lot to do with why they closed down. I don't have a favorite locally where I walk in. I've gone to a couple. I haven't got the vibe of, yeah, I could hang here, you know, come here, you know, no, I don't have, no. When buying witchy items, do they choose you or do you choose them? I'm going to say a little bit of both. I will, let me explain. If I go, say like I go looking on Amazon for a particular doodad. Oh, like this. Like this. I wanted a crow or raven charm to wear. So I went on Amazon. I looked at it. That was me choosing what I wanted. And then I would scroll through and then pick out the ones I liked, like really liked and could afford. And then I just kept looking through till one says, you know what, I'm the one for you. You want me. And that's what happened. So, like I said, a little bit of both. How do you organize your herbs or ingredients? Well, I don't have that many herbs. So they're all like on one shelf in the bathroom closet. You know, most of my videos behind me, there's this gray door. That's my bathroom closet, and it's more like a linen closet or whatever, but that's not what I use it for. There's one shelf that has all of my herbs, all my lemongrass and rosemary and rose petals and what my oils and stuff like that. That's the carrier oils. That's all in there. That's all on one shelf. Like I said, I don't have much. The other ingredients, if you're talking about my incense oils and the sticks and the powders and stuff like that, that's all under, there's like a bookshelf case kind of deal going on underneath my altar. Those are there. Same thing with my everything pretty much else is there under my altar space. So the herbs and stuff are in there so I can shut the door and keep the light out. Kind of deal. Let's see. Do you have an interest in any other deities that you don't work with? And if so, which ones? Do I have an interest in deities that I don't work with? Oh, well, of course I do. I mean, I like to read about other mythos and stuff like that and go, oh, look, that's cool, or, oh, that's cool. I find it enjoyable to read about other pantheons besides what I normally work in. I mean, I think that's just kind of cool. Does one stand out in particular to me? I'd probably have to go with either the Greek and Roman, because Roman's a word. Greek and Roman, and the Egyptian. Yeah, I think that's what I'd have to go with. Yeah. Okay, so, what's next? Do you have a favorite time of day to do spell work, and if so, why? I typically, like 99% of the time, will do my spells nighttime. Why? I am not a morning person. If you ever see me get up before dawn for a spell, it better be a pretty dang important one. To be honest, this accuse me for doing a lot of spells. I'm lazy like that. You want me to get up before dawn to do what? Yeah, no. Okay, no, sorry, not happening. If I can work around it, I will. Okay. Are you solitary or do you work with a coven? I'm lazy. I'm a solitary. No, it's not that I'm lazy, because that's not really it. That's just a joke, and I'm sorry. It was a bad one. I am solitary. I've never worked with a coven. So, it's always just been me. If you could pick a certain witchcraft tradition that fits your practice the most, what would it be? Druid, Celtic, Wicca, etc. See, I'm a picker and chooser. I'll pull and pick, and I will say the majority of the things that I do, I have gleaned from the Celtic tradition. So we'll go with that answer. Number 32. What is the most creative spell you've ever done, and what did you use? The most creative spell I've ever done. Okay. I was going through some personal issues with an ex, and I was very upset at the time. Needless to say, I was very upset at the time. I was very upset with him. Was not happy. I wanted to completely erase the boy from him. And I'm going to say boy because he was not a man. No. From my memory, didn't want to think about him. And what prompted it is I had come across a drawing that he had done. That was...
Hey, Mom.
What?
Can I make cookies?
Sure.
Yay.
I had come across a drawing that he had done for me, tucked away in a binder that I had forgotten about. And it's like, no, no. So I did this whole little, I'm gonna forget you, you're not gonna bother me anymore, you're just kind of deal. I was very proud of myself, because I did it. That was one spell I did completely from scratch, all on my own. Did not tweak anybody else's or look up one that was ready-made. So okay. Alright, what do you prefer for divination, tarot, oracle, runes, etc., and why?